if this was the only message that you looked at, you already know this was written by law enforcement because of they used the word interrogated. Like this dumb, this 22-year-old Antifa weirdo is going to use the word interrogate. No, they picked up this guy and interrogated him. And then I plan to grab my rifle from my drop point. Drop point. That's law enforcement talk. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So I have solved one of these mysteries for you guys. I feel very confident saying that. And that is the mystery of the incredibly suspicious messages that supposedly went between the roommate and the shooter that everybody's reading. And they're like, this is fake. Okay, like this is fake. I know exactly what we're looking at now, and I'm going to tell you that in this video. I just want to tell you some other stuff that we're going to look at, though, because I want to look at some of the conspiracy stuff that people are looking at. Everybody's asking me, they're like, why aren't you diving into the conspiracy side? And I can't really explain it better than that. You know, like with the Trump one and Butler, I immediately was like, nah, you know. And with this one, I just haven't felt the same out the gate. And whenever I kind of dig a little bit under the hood on a lot of these things that kind of blow up, it ends up being explainable, right? And like, I'm not that guy. Usually, like, dude, I'm a fake moon landing person, okay? So like, I'm not the person who's looking to like debunk conspiracies. But when I show you what I'm talking about, especially with those messages, you'll understand what I mean. But we're also going to look at... we're going to look at some other stuff here. So I want to show you guys a little bit more of this like Charlie Kirk culture. And I'm going to show you exactly why I don't even blame those people anymore. I'll tell you exactly who I blame for that, for all of it, dude. Any black person, you know, that's been on camera ripping around, making an asshole out of himself. Oh, he's racist. And so I'm glad he's dead. Okay, like they're morons. They got fired. They got kicked out of school. But candidly, after seeing what AOC said last night on Capitol Hill, it's not even their fault. It's not even their fault. It's the repulsive, disgusting left-wing people that tell absolutely overt lies about Charlie Kirk. Like when AOC gave a speech yesterday about why the Congress shouldn't give some designated day of, I don't know, whatever, some kind of just common sense, dude. Charlie Kirk got murdered. Let's all just agree to like, you know, a day of remembrance or whatever they were doing, right? And AOC's like, no, I need to stand in front of Congress and tell you who Charlie Kirk really was because he's a piece of shit. And you're like, why are you doing this? But it's not just that she did it. It's specifically what she said. And it's like, okay, now I'm putting myself in the position of a black person who's ignorant to Charlie Kirk. And it's like, okay, well, shoot. A person in Congress wouldn't just say that if it's not true. And so it's like, yeah, of course they think that about Charlie Kirk because their entire source of information are these lying scumbags like Jimmy Kimmel and AOC. So we're going to get into that also. And then if we have time, I still have to show you guys this story. The grown adults infiltrated a kids group that doxed students that wanted to join TPUSA. It's unbelievable. Okay, so I want to start right here, though. All right, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I appreciate you guys doing that, and welcome to the continually growing big subscriber jump that I had in the last week or two. But I wish it was under better circumstances. But this is cameragate, right? So this is one of those ones. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, right? So this was something that was going around. They're all, what is this guy doing with the camera?
Safety team is here. I just heard them say the active shooter, Charlie Kirk, has been shot. Charlie Kirk got hit, is what the security detail just said.
So the guy takes down that camera right there, right? Now, Candace was very suspicious of this, right? And I will tell you right now, I didn't talk about this but I already knew what it was going to be. She talked about what it actually was on her episode that I watched this morning, I guess, which was for the episode after this. But I knew this immediately, right? And I'm looking at Candace. I love Candace, dude. I watch all of her shit. She's brilliant. But she's unhinged right now. Like, right this second, like, she is in pure war. Like war mode that I don't think people can fully grasp. Okay? Like, to the point where she's going to see things that are not there. Okay? Like, because she's on a mission to destroy anyone who is anywhere near the murder of her friend. And I respect that. But like, anyone who looked at this cameragate thing and thought that this was some indication of some gigantic conspiracy, it's like, guys, in fairness, like, you have to at least have, like, just think it through. It's like, who owns that camera? You know what I mean? Like, who's going to own the camera that's right behind Charlie Kirk at the event? It's going to be Turning Point USA. And what are they supposed to do? Like, the camera's theirs, right? Now, the guy's dumb for using a chair. It's an active crime scene. They shouldn't have touched that stuff. But like, why is the guy grabbing the camera and taking it down? Probably because they are breaking down the event and he wants to make sure he gets the footage to turn over to law enforcement. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as I saw cameragate, I was like, okay, this one's dumb. I couldn't believe that this caught on. I couldn't believe cameragate caught on. And that's exactly what it ended up being, right? And I'll tell you what I mean too about like how Candace is like, she's really spun up right now, is when she was explaining that she ended up getting a hold of the guy. She's like, yeah, he said, that's exactly what he said. He's like, I was taking down the camera. I wanted to make sure that I held it and I turned it over to the FBI. And she's like, well, that's mistake number one with me. It's like, we don't trust the FBI over here. We don't trust any of those people over here. It's like, okay, I understand that. Like, the question, I agree, we should question everything. But like, who are you supposed to turn that footage over to? Do you know what I mean? Like, you have a close-up shot of a person that you worked with and were probably pretty close to getting murdered, right? Like, are you going to go and arrest the person who did it? Are you going to build the case, which ultimately puts a person into the justice system, which ultimately puts them to death, hopefully? Okay, like, of course you give it to the FBI. Like, of course you give it to law enforcement. Like, of course, right? I'm not saying the FBI is not shady, but it's like, if you have that video, of course you give it to the FBI. They're the ones who can put someone in jail. You know what I mean? Or put someone in prison or execute them, hopefully. So I did, like, that's all, literally, that's all I'm, like, believe me, dude. Candace and me are fucking aces. I love Candace. I can just see in her face, though, she is on a biblical rampage right now. And I would not suggest getting in between her and whatever she's trying to accomplish right now, but she's going to be like this on things, and like this cameragate one, I'm like, I don't get it. Okay. But she also is talking about the messages, and she's talking about the messages specifically between the roommate and the shooter. And she's like, this whole thing stinks. The whole thing stinks. Like, look at these messages. They're fake. And I'm like, the messages are super weird, but I figured out what they are. Okay. I figured out what they are. Right. So here's what we're looking at. I'll read these again. Okay. So like, what? You're joking, right? Robinson, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I come home, but gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry. Now, a couple of the ones that they're really harping on are right here. Okay. So no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Okay, like, that is clearly written by someone in law enforcement, right? Clearly. I mean, you can literally just pick it up. You could pick it up on, if this was the only message that you looked at, you already know this is written by law enforcement because of they use the word interrogated. Like this dumb shit that was, this 22-year-old Antifa weirdo is going to use the word interrogate. No, they picked up this guy and interrogated him. And then And then I plan to grab my rifle from my drop point. Drop point. That's law enforcement talk, dude. And then that most of that side of town got locked down. That's police talk, dude. Nobody who's 22, who's Antifa would talk like that. They would say there's police everywhere. You know, like that's what they would say. There's fucking police everywhere. There's cops everywhere. And then it's quiet, almost enough to get out. But there's one vehicle lingering. Again, cop talk, okay? So we don't even need to go through the rest of this because it is definitely written by the police. So when you first look at it, of course, you're like, this shit's shady. Like, this is bullshit. Why would they fabricate this evidence? Why would they fabricate this evidence if there's not a conspiracy here going? Okay, so here's what happened. I will bet my life on this, okay? So the FBI is a law enforcement agency that is also responsible for communicating with the public, okay? When it comes to a huge case like this, right? The president is talking to the FBI and it's like, go get me answers. And the FBI, and why? Because the people want answers. So the FBI needs to deliver answers to the people, okay? So how did this kid get caught? He got caught because his family turned him in. They saw the video or the picture and they're like, that's our fucking son. Then they call him, and this whole thing makes perfect sense about where he's like, my dad is here, hang on. My dad is calling right now. He wants a picture of the rifle, right? Here, there, yeah. He wants a picture of the rifle, wherever that was. That makes perfect sense. And that's like, you know, the dad sees the rifle on TV and he's like, send me a picture of that rifle just to demonstrate it's definitely not you, because if, you know, the cops have the rifle that killed Charlie Kirk, so send me a picture right now of you holding that rifle. So that all makes sense. Here's the thing. The reason why there's no timestamps on this is because what this actually is this was the result of them questioning the roommate, okay? So the roommate had these conversations and then deleted them out of his texts. The roommate also says that he had that note and then, you know, he got rid of it or whatever, okay? But the FBI needs to give the people who are asking questions, like, what happened? And so what do? They recreate the messages between the roommate and the shooter, and then they put them out as if they are the actual messages, okay? That's all this is. Fucking guaranteed. Guaranteed. That's what this is. They asked him, and then they, you know, they're writing down the notes. They've got it, you know, they're recording it, whatever. They go back, they recreate the messages. That's why they don't have timestamps, whatever. It's communicating all of the information they got from questioning the roommate, and then they just put it out because they're trying to put a bow on this thing, you know? And the problem is that, like, people are, like, nowadays, the people, like, you put a bow on something that involves you recreating a text thread, okay, people are going to sniff it out like we did, you know, like we did. And though now, while looks like you were putting a bow on something, what you actually did is created a massive amount of people who think this is some gigantic conspiracy that involves the FBI. You know what I mean? Because you're like, the FBI put this out and this is fake. So they fucked up, okay? Like, we live in a new world now. With the free exchange of information, you can't do this anymore. You can't do that. You can't do that shit. You're going to get caught, and then it's going to look 10 times worse. But that is, I'm telling you, that is what this is. That is for sure what this is. Now, let's continue looking at other people who have, you know. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but check this out, dude. This is what's happening in Times Square. Okay, so that's from 2 days ago, right? Obviously, if you have, you know, blood in your veins and you're American, I would imagine that pisses you off. It certainly pissed me off. But then what made me not mad at them anymore was this, like I alluded to. Okay, so this is AOC's speech yesterday, and I want to make a specific point about something that she says, and then we'll go back to fuck Charlie Kirk. And I think you could just call them morons, but I don't think you'll be as mad at them. You'll be mad at the correct person, which is this lying fucking bitch right here.
Today's resolution only underscores the majority's recklessness by choosing to author this condemnation and honoring on a purely partisan basis, instead of uniting Congress in this tragedy with one of the many bipartisan options to condemn political violence and Kirk's murder, as we did with the late Melissa Hortman. Instead, the majority proceeded with a resolution that brings great pain to the millions of Americans who endured segregation, Jim Crow, and the legacy of bigotry today. We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake.
Okay, that's it. That line right there. Charlie Kirk believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted blacks the right to vote was a mistake. Okay? Now, if you're a fucking idiot, like these BLM people are, right? Specifically the ones that were marching, and that's all you know about Charlie Kirk, you're like, that motherfucker said it was a mistake to let us vote? What are you going to say? You're going to be like, fuck that guy. Okay? Except the reality is what Charlie Kirk actually said was he disagreed with the Civil Rights Act because I went and researched this. Specifically what he said was that he had concerns over government overreach and bureaucracy that came out of the Civil Rights Act. He had fears that the courts would treat the act as a higher law than the Constitution, and it enshrined cultural and bureaucratic efforts, and especially DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. He obviously did not have any issue with blacks voting, okay? Like, that's not a thing at all. All of his stuff around the Civil Rights Act was structured in principles on how it was applied legally, okay? Of course. But does she give a shit about that? No, she has no problem standing in front of the entire country and acting like Charlie Kirk, the guy who just got murdered, acting as if he stood for taking away black people's right to vote. She's gutter trash. She is absolute sheer trash, okay? And so is Jimmy Kimmel. You know, here you go. Like, the writers are currently marching in circles outside ABC studios in New York City in solidarity with Jimmy Kimmel being suspended. We the people want Trump behind bars. Fight back. Shut the fuck up, okay? Oh, you're marching in solidarity with Jimmy Kimmel after why do you guys think that everybody feels so comfortable celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, right? Like, why do you think that these people exist? Like, why do you think that there are so many of these people? It's because of scumbags like Jimmy Kimmel, who's basically his entire show is about dehumanizing anyone who is aligned with Trump, right? Charlie Kirk, anybody. They're subhuman, right? Thanks to him. And they're out there like, oh, look at this, dude. Enough is enough. Stop Trump abuse of power. It's like, dude, he went on national television and pretended that this guy was a MAGA extremist with a straight face. Like, with a straight face. You're all, a MAGA extremist killed Charlie Kirk? Like, I don't understand. Isn't Charlie Kirk one of the biggest, most important leaders of the MAGA movement? I don't understand. Why would a MAGA person have shot Charlie Kirk? Okay. You obviously know this is a fucking lie, but no problem, dude. That's fine. Just put that shit out there. Like, give me a break. Okay. And you're all, we're marching in solidarity with Jimmy Kimmel. You are fucking idiots then. Okay. You're morons. He lied. Okay. That's a big fucking lie. That's not just like a whatever lie. That's a big lie, a really big lie. And coming right off of what just happened, Charlie Kirk gets murdered in front of the entire world. All of us had to watch that video. Okay. And the people on the right who like feel like Charlie Kirk's one of our people, like someone that we know, got to watch him get murdered in front of our face. And you're just going to go out and just fucking make that shit up? Say that it was us? You're just going to say it was us, huh? Like, you can't hate these motherfuckers enough. And I don't mean all of them. Like, these people, to me, these ones are morons. Like, these people, I'm marching in solidarity. There's dumbasses. Jimmy Kimmel is a piece of shit. AOC is a piece of shit. Okay? These people that use their platform to just outright lie and trick people and dehumanize. Fuck them, dude. You know? And then, as a result, you get shit like this, okay? Grown adults infiltrated a kids group chat to dox students who were forming a high school Turning Point USA club and threaten them and anyone who supported them. This might be one of the most deranged things I've ever seen. Okay, so check this out. Stratford High School teens were forming a TPUSA club. They were doxxed by adults sharing students' internal GroupMe content in the Be the Change private Facebook group, urging 730 members. Be the Change is obviously the like left-wing psycho group, okay? And so they infiltrated the kids' chat and then shared all of their information on Be the Change, 730 rabid psychos operating in secrecy to also intimidate teacher sponsors. Okay? So this is Natalie Herpin, some psychotic fucking bitch. Stratford parents, I have an urgent request. Please, please, please send emails to 2 teachers who are rumored to have agreed to sponsoring a club that will sow division and hate among our students. This is dangerous territory, and it would help if those teachers knew that their consideration was not appreciated by the remainder of the student body. Like, these people are... Oh my God, dude. Sow division, huh? So this group of students is like, you know, we want to share our ideas over here, you know, conservative values. We wanted to talk about how church is important and how raising a family is important. And in some cases, maybe we don't like abortion. I don't know. I don't really know what they're going to talk about, but that's what we want to do. And this psycho thinks that she's on the moral high ground to go and literally like ask all of the parents to go bombard these 2 teachers that are sponsoring this thing. Because why? Like, it appears that Denise Bell, censorship advocate, Mama Bear is book aware, is pushing for Stratford students to start a Turning Point USA club at the school. She brought into a GroupMe chat a Javon Evans, who is the Gulf Coast representative of Club America, which is the Turning Point USA student club name, but it is absolutely the same organization. Yeah, so what? So what? Anybody that's at TPUSA is a better person than you. Without principal's approval, they already decided their first meeting is Friday and already started an Instagram page. Then more names of the teachers are the 2 who are being claimed as sponsors per the GroupMe. Before this gets too far, please send an email and remind them of the following. Club America is formerly known as Turning Point High School. It is formerly linked to Turning Point USA website. What's wrong with that? Turning Point USA is known for having a professor watch list where any teacher can be turned in for a witch hunt and professional stalkers will work to get them fired. No. What they'll do is they'll find people like you and get you fired, which is exactly what you deserve. It's exactly what you deserve. You don't deserve to teach children. You could go, an enemies list. No, they're holding people accountable for behavior that should not be acceptable, like what you're doing right now. Okay? Turning Point USA is a political organization, and there's no mistake that teachers who sponsor this club are making a personal political statement. Yes, they are. Or maybe they're not, actually. Hey, you're not making a personal political statement in this moment right now, you fucking delusional inability to fucking recognize what you are. Like, it's like they have no self-awareness. Or they just don't care. Turning Point USA has frequently framed immigrants, Black people, and LGBTQIA plus individuals as an existential threat to white Christian Americans. The existence of this group is guaranteed to sow division and potentially promote violence. Okay. Hey, promote violence. That's fucking hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. Given the famous founder having recently been murdered by an individual motivated by interpersonal rivalry, there we go. There it is. Fake news. Nick Fuentes or Charlie Kirk being the better far-right activist. Oh my God. That is really what these fucking morons are going with. That's your story? You fucking idiot. That's the story that you're going with. interpersonal rivalry about which one of them is the better far-right activist. So one of Nick Fuentes' people murdered Charlie Kirk. Do you know how fucking stupid you'd have to be to believe that? Do you have any idea how delusional and stupid? Anybody who is watching this video that believes that, I cannot promote self-harm on this channel. So I will just say, like, you know, sometimes it's time to throw in the towel, you know? Like, it's time to throw in the towel, right? And in your case, it means you need to go get deprogrammed, okay? I'm not actually saying, like, but you need to go get deprogrammed. If you have even entertained that as a realistic thing that might be true, you need deprogramming. And if you can't get deprogrammed, you're too dumb. You're beyond saving. You're a fucking idiot. Oh my God. Famous quotes from Charlie Kirk that do not promote the SBISD value of every child being important and valued. Quote, happening all the time in urban America, prowling blacks go around for fun and target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more. That is a fact. Doesn't mean all blacks are targeting white people. That's a thing that happens. Fact. If I'm dealing with someone in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder if she's there because of her excellence or if she's there because of affirmative action. That's not what he said, you fucking idiot. You lying fucking bitch. That's not what he said. Reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge. Oh, I'm sure there's no context there. Oh my God. I literally can't, dude. And then I think it's worth it to have the cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Hey, raise your hand if you're a Republican and you want to turn in your guns now that 24% of liberals said they feel joy when their political rivals get murdered. Okay. I think not. You guys want gun control? You're the reason that we would never turn in our guns, okay? So, as usual, you're the problem. Unbelievable, dude. Quote, America was at its peak when we halted immigration for 40 years and we dropped our foreign-born percentage to its lowest level ever. We should be unafraid to do that. I mean, what? Are you saying that's not accurate? I don't know. But that's just inherently racist, I assume. The American Democrat Party hates this country. They want to see it collapse. They love it when America becomes less white. That's true. That's true. I mean, I don't know about the less. I actually just don't believe any of her quotes anyway. America has freedom of religion, of course, but we should be frank, large dedicated Islamic areas are a threat to America. I don't know if he said that, and I don't know how I feel about it either way. Like, I've heard, you know what, I'm not getting into that conversation. Please, please, please send a letter with your own words to these two teachers. Encourage them to focus on their careers. Hey, once you focus on your fucking non-existent career now, she's done. She's fucking done. Encourage them to focus on their careers, their students, and actual education. Remind them they have students who are girls, who are black, who are Muslim, who are LGBTQ+. This is such fucking horseshit. I hate these people, man. Oh yeah, because Charlie Kirk just hated blacks, hated women, hated anyone who's gay. Oh, you just know, so you've never seen him talk. Like, you've literally never watched him go on campus and interact with these people. You've just never seen it. Why would you? You know, when you can drink your entire fucking ideology off of Facebook posts, you fucking uneducated imbecile. God, dude. To great amounts of that. We don't care. That's what we do here. And we said that Islam is not compatible with, wait, what? Oh, never mind. And then, so Nadia and her husband, Naeem, also contributed to the challenges October 17th. Public records indicate that Nadia is related to Amin Mitha, who is a, what? What does this have to do with anything? So, yeah, she got blown up. She got blown up, dude. That's what happens. Libs of TikTok gets a hold of you, and look, 800,000 people saw what you did. And look, here's my contribution. Let's destroy this woman's life. Yep. Pretty much, dude. Let's wrap it up on who Charlie Kirk actually was.
Very important. Sir Isaac Newton fell asleep underneath a tree. And then an apple hit him. Kind of like this. So then he came up with the 3 laws. Okay, see, that's the issue. Is you keep on thinking when you drop it, it comes back up, but it doesn't, okay? The 3 laws of Newtonian physics. You're going to be quizzed on this later, you know. An object at rest will stay at rest. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For example, if I push it, it goes towards. And finally, force equals mass times acceleration. Any questions?
They killed him, dude. They killed him. And then they went in front of the world and lied about who he was and smeared his legacy. Like, disgust is not a big enough word. These people are the most reprehensible people on earth. I really, before this whole incident, fancied myself like a build a bridge guy. I really did, dude. I mean, I fuck with people, but I only fucked with people who are like bullies, you know? It's like, if I found them constantly, the fucking MAGA crew, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, Jesus, shut up, Kyle Kalinske, you fucking cum guzzler, you know? But like, this has made me I have a very different outlook now. Like, these people are fucking poison, dude. Absolute poison. AOC and them, they're fucking poison. It's disgusting, man.